Hey, this is your boy Marcus at Lenovo Gaming Game State, where you can influence the next big indie game.
Wow, I had no idea that Felicia Day was not only trans, but trans black to boot. Good for you, bro.
And we're here at Next Gen Games to talk to the infamous gaming actress, author, and YouTube maven.
Felicia Day.
To game, talk about why she loves games, and the idea of Game State.
Why do you love games so much?
Well, when I was a kid, I was homeschooled, so I basically had no friends. And my brother and I, the one thing we had together that got us out of the house virtually was video games. And that really gave us a sense of freedom and discovery.
And this is the person calling other people antisocial. Are you sure your sheltered upbringing and quasi-autism didn't, influence your perspective as to gamers actually being ever so frightening hoodlums? So this video was advertised to me on Twitter, and this response is going to be the consequence of putting this kind of garbage in my feed. As cringeworthy as this shit is, let's take a look at another one of these sponsor videos before we continue on with this original one.
The internet has brought so many more people together, communicating, and giving people the tools to make games themselves. I think it's good for everybody because the more points of view that we're able to communicate to each other, the more we understand each other as people, and the more we grow. And I think the diversity of the kind of games, the people making games, and the kinds of characters that we're all playing enriches all of us.
So let's recap. More perspectives, more points of view is a positive thing. Does that include conservatives? Does that include libertarians? Does that include theists? Does that include anti-feminists? Does that include individualists? Does that include anti-authoritarian leftists? See, this is the fundamental issue that revolves around this notion of diversity in gaming. You either mean it or you don't. And that's the problem I have with Felicia Day, because she has been making these same talking points in regards to gaming for a while now. I've done a video on this already, and the talking points haven't changed. A section of her own channel is full of fucking lunatics obsessed with their identifiers. The problem remains that you either believe in free speech for all or you don't. You believe in inclusivity or you don't. And the thing is, right, I don't preach diversity. My position is that gaming as a subculture is discriminatory, not just by the nature of being a subculture, but out of the basic requirement that no one wants to play with a shitty player or a cunt that no one can stand. Not everyone that plays games is a gamer as well, so herein lies the issue of being all-inclusive. It is impossible with gaming. You either play games or you do not. And even if you do, it doesn't mean that you'll be accepted as gamers are an outlier, a discriminating subculture. Not everyone wants to join, and no one is entitled to join. I'm aware that no matter what I say, some people are just going to state that gaming isn't a subculture, but why call yourself a gamer? Why not join the majority of consumers and just not associate with the term? If you are no different than any other person on the issue of playing video games, why bother with the fucking label at all? But let's get back to the original video.
What's your favorite game?
I love open world games where you can kind of do whatever you want. I really just like projecting myself into a world where I have agency versus just watching actors.
Fight! This needs to stop
Wow.
now!
I'm such beginner's luck right now.
This is cancer! Can you help a nigga out and just stop this? Please?
Oh wow, no.
I want your opinion about Game State and the possibility that it gives gamers or the community to actually build a game.
I think the times of people just kind of passively consuming things that people shove in their face is kind of gone.
Right. A time that never existed is now gone. Phenomenal misanthropy, Felicia. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say that these assholes assume the absolute fucking worst in people. She honestly believes that for the last few decades, gamers have been just mindless consumers, buying games for no other reason than what? What's the reason, Felicia? Is it because we've been mind-fucked by advertisers? The industry was subservient to a patriarchal conspiracy? Is it that boys are finally no longer the spell of toxic masculinity? When did gamers awake to the puppet master of gender norms and stereotypical characters? Tell us, oh sage of gaming.
Because we've all discovered, hey, it's so much fun to have your voice heard in whatever it is that you love. So the idea that you can provide an entry to people to participate in how a game is formed. And like, I think that's really, really cool.
It sounds a hell of a lot like she's talking about moral outrage, social pressure, and campaigning for censorship. And why is it when so-called gamers are talking about pushing identity politics and regressive leftist garbage in gaming, that's perfectly moral and fine to do. But if you take issue with Mass Effect 3's ending being fucking garbage, or you're not enjoying the fact that your favorite franchise is being censored by fascists, all of a sudden, this feedback becomes entitlement that should be muted. It sounds to me like having separate standards for people you may end up disagreeing with. That may be progressive, but it isn't principled or liberal for that matter. So that's the end of this video, to where I think I don't need to say much more than what I already have on this issue of Felicia Day, because in all honesty, she's a shill looking for some kind of purpose, looking for something to spew, whether to the press or to the industry. She's looking for something to grasp onto, to just desperately avoid obscurity. I still have people coming into my channel referencing my older videos saying, no, she's actually a somebody. No, she isn't. She is a fucking nobody. And she is becoming that much more obscure by the day. And that's fine by me, because what she stands for is something that I want out of gaming, and that is vacuous PC garbage, while at the same time shitting on the people that she should be defending or advocating for or doing anything but doing what she's doing, which is shilling.